Join me today as we fly Global Airlines' second scheduled service from Manchester to New York JFK in economy class. Is this a horrible fire fest of a flight or one of the best economy experiences in the air today? Let's find out. We start at the aviation park at the Manchester airport. Here you'll find relics of the golden age of British aviation like the Avro RJX, which was the last airplane produced in the UK, or the majestic Concorde.
So there are certain flights that you wish you could have taken after the fact, right? Or even during the fact. One of them is Concorde. And it's actually ironic they have a Concorde in the Manchester Airport aviation park here, because we're going to be going on a very similar flight today.
But even more interesting are the names on the aircraft, defunct British airlines that used to dominate the skies, names like BEA or Monarch, forgotten by time. Today there's a new British airline, Global Airlines. This crowd is here to see their single A380 land shortly. You'd be forgiven if you thought Manchester Airport wasn't a major airport, but they have an impressive number of flights operating, including Emirates 3 times a day. But today, Emirates isn't the only A380 at Manchester. As Global touches down, the Emirates A380 begins their takeoff. The crowd is quite excited to watch this historic moment, but for us, we're not just watching the landing. That's right, we're actually flying on it. Last minute I decided to go to the UK to fly Global's first Manchester flight and their second scheduled service. We're a bit behind schedule though, so we've got to rush to Terminal 1 to get checked in. Welcome to their car park. Terminal 1 at Manchester is a bit of an interesting one. It's outdated now that Terminal 2 has been renovated, but Emirates and several Middle Eastern airlines still operate out of here along with EasyJet. Now that is a premium combination. But there is a new player in Terminal 1, Global Airlines, though as you can see, it's under the Hi-Fly name for now. Check-in is quite empty. There are no queues for any class of service. Now that is premium. They even have cupcakes at the check-in counter. It's heavy on the premium for sure. I've waited longer when flying first class on other airlines. After security, it's time to go through the duty-free maze. Man, I hate doing this. Today we're departing from gate 20D. I see a lot of advantages to this. For one, it's located behind this ultra-exclusive and private door. It's located downstairs, making it far more private than even the Emirates gate since they discontinued lounge boarding. The actual waiting area is incredibly comfortable and spacious. Manchester Airport has great Wi-Fi and a strong connection down here, so there really are no complaints. Now, there is one minor issue that I've encountered so far, and that's my initial seat booking, which was 72 kilo, but I was moved to 78 kilo. Not a big deal though, the staff quickly got me back into my original seat.
New York JFK, flight number HFM 382, operated by Hi-Fly. We would like to commence boarding by inviting any guests seated in our first and business class cabin to please come forward for boarding through gate number 20 Delta. Thank you.
Before long, it was our turn to board. All economy passengers board in Zone 2. Most airlines don't even have their top-tier elites boarding by Zone 2, let alone economy passengers. Airlines love to cram buses full of passengers, but Global made sure to keep them quite empty. It felt very exclusive for sure. As we drove along the airport road, we spotted our aircraft. You can't help but notice it. The A380 is massive, and what a striking aircraft. While not quite the same as the original plans, the paint scheme is very impressive. It really works well with the aircraft, and you can tell a lot of the thought went into it. This aircraft, 9 Hotel Golf Lima Oscar Bravo Lima, used to belong to China Southern in a past life, but you could never tell now. While on the bus, I chatted with some fellow passengers. Everyone is excited for this flight today and are eager to share their plans for their time in New York City. As we pull up to the A380, the last of the first and business passengers are boarding. James, the CEO, is on the ground. I got to speak to him for a few minutes at the aviation park, and you can tell he's incredibly excited for the flight. After all, he's done what every AvGeek claims to want to do. He's built an airline. As we disembark from the bus, everyone stops to take photos or video. There are very few opportunities to board an A380 from the tarmac, making Global's decision an obvious one. Seeing the aircraft from the ground and not a jet bridge is awe-inspiring. What a cool experience. As you climb up the stairs, you can't help but notice the speed tape on the wings. It's reassuring to see an airline committed to maintenance and safety. Speed tape is a crucial element of airline maintenance, and seeing it reaffirms Global's commitment to being a world leader in safety. We board through the one left door and walk through the very nice first-class cabin arranged in a 1-2-1 configuration with 8 individual suites. Immediately after, we're presented with an impressive A380 staircase. I will admit, it feels like it is missing something. I love the ropes that Etihad had on theirs. Maybe that's an addition down the road? As we come up the staircase, there's the Sky Pub, a concept similar to the bars you would find on Etihad, Emirates, and Virgin, though it feels more like the Aeromexico bar, with a slightly more premium and elevated drink selection. We walk through the business class cabin, which takes up the majority of the upper deck in a 2-cabin setup with a staggered 1-2-1 configuration. There's a general air of excitement, which is very different from the almost depressing atmosphere you would typically find in a long-haul business class cabin.
How's it going?
My colleague will take you. Thank you.
With that, we reach the mini economy cabin on the upper deck. Arranged in a 2-4-2 configuration, it's fantastic, and one of the ultimate hacks for flying on an A380. With ample storage for the window passengers making up for the smaller cabin bag bins, there's plenty of space for everyone to put their things. The seat itself has a lot more legroom than you would expect in economy with a generous recline. Don't forget, I'm around 6'5" to 6'6", so this looks deceiving. While the seat's IFE doesn't work at the moment and there is a lack of onboard power, I think the other benefits outweigh those. I'll get to the IFE solution in a second. They don't expect you to just read newspapers like the golden age of flying after all. The tray table has ample space along with an included cup holder if you don't want to put it down all the way. The seatback pocket has lots of space too. On the seat was a pillow, blanket, welcome card, menu, and an amenity kit. Extremely impressive for a daytime transatlantic flight. Sadly, missing on A380s are the air vents, but Global keeps the cabin at a perfect temperature, so no complaints there. The most premium airlines offer an amenity kit in economy. Global is no exception. Most airlines provide a simple paper or plastic kit, but Global went all out with an amenity kit bag worthy of business class. Inside we find the Global logo, which is a nice touch. The contents are a pair of socks, eye mask, earplugs, dental kit, and a pen, which is almost always helpful for immigration forms. It would be nice to see some sort of skin cream or something along those lines, but this is way nicer than you'd see on most other premium airlines kits in economy. get into the menu. We need to start by acknowledging that a menu in economy is extremely rare. Noticing a trend? We have Laurent Perrier champagne, a selection of white and red wine, extensive spirits and beers. Of course, there's also your standard soft drinks like Coke, Coke Zero, Fanta, and juices. We have one starter option, a caprese salad, along with 3 mains, herb chicken, ballantine, a pan-fried sea bass, and spiced white bean casserette with a citrus tart for dessert. I decided to go with the sea bass. I'm brave to try fish on board, I know, but it's going to be one of the harder dishes to do well. From takeoff to meal served was about an hour and 10 minutes. For the rear of the cabin, that's incredibly impressive. And I mean, look at this meal. It is well presented. If I saw this on a plate in business class, it wouldn't be out of place. It looks really good from every angle. I decided to get the white wine, champagne, and a Coke. Now I will admit my Porter Champs is a bit weak, and the plastic cup is hardly premium, but we need to zoom out to the big picture for a second. There are very few airlines that offer real champagne in economy, let alone Laurent Perrier. One that comes to mind is Air France, which serves their economy champagne in a paper cup. Plastic is way better, trust me. On top of that, their business class champagne isn't even as premium as what's offered on Global in economy. I'm okay with a plastic cup. The meal tastes amazing. Honestly, probably the best meal I've ever had in economy. The fish is incredible. Global has really knocked it out of the park on the second flight. I do need to highlight something here though. Metal cutlery. I mean, come on, you cannot get more premium than that, especially with airlines using wood in their premium economy and short-haul business. I'm looking at you, Air France and KLM. The dessert is really good too. No complaints here with the meal whatsoever. I'm asked if I'd like anything else to drink. I asked for another glass of champs, and look what turned up. The rosé from first class. What a nice touch. Honestly, this was fantastic and served in a real glass, which I can always appreciate. The bathrooms are pretty standard with premium amenities from Margaret and Dobbs, something you'd rarely see in economy. While we're relegated to economy at the moment, China Southern didn't elect for showers in the first class bathrooms, unlike Etihad and Emirates, which is a shame. A shower would make Global even better. So guys, remember how I said it would be nice if they had some skincare or something included in the amenity kit? Look what just showed up, a cologne and body wash sample. There was also a hand cream I saw, but it seemed I was skipped and not given one. Oh well. This is pretty cool though. Makes the amenity kit even better. So there is a Wi-Fi network, but it doesn't have internet access at the moment. The IFE website is solid. The skippable form requiring just your first name still airs and requires you to provide all the information, including consenting to communications, but you can just skip this. Of course, I'm not a big IFE person, so the most useful aspect of this for me was the flight map, which I'm afraid is a bit basic. There are far more movies than I expected though, with plenty of modern films available. I'm honestly surprised. Film licensing is stupidly expensive, so seeing this many films shows their investment in the customer experience. There are also a very small selection of TV shows, some music, and a single game. I would like to see this part improved. Suddenly, the crew appear offering snacks. The snack baskets you see on Delta's domestic first class can't hold a candle. Look at these options I picked. They all tasted amazing, and to be honest, I hope I can buy them myself because, wow. Now, on the crew, I heard a lot of terrible things, honestly, about they were being lazy, they were rude, etc. on the last flight. I haven't experienced any of that. They've been amazing, hardworking, kind, constantly coming through the aisles, checking to see if you need anything. I don't know what people were talking about on the last flight. It's a completely different story here. Clearly, there might be some reliability issues, and we'll need to see over time what it's like. But if these people are any indication, it's a wonderful crew. Big fan. A little over an hour prior to landing, we were asked if we'd like to have an afternoon tea service. It was quickly served. We had two options, the classic afternoon tea and the vegetarian afternoon tea. I went with the classic, which had smoked salmon, cucumber and cream cheese, egg mayonnaise, carnation chicken, roast beef, and horseradish, along with scones, clotted cream, and a cake. I had an English breakfast tea with it, though I would have preferred to have had Earl Grey. Overall, this was super impressive. I've had afternoon tea on BA and Virgin in business class, and neither have come close to this. How are they offering this in economy? So what are my final thoughts on this? Arguably, I think this is one of the better economy products I've ever flown. And that comes from somebody who's flown economy as a top tier elite, where I'm having private transfers, I'm being thanked by the crew for my loyalty, even sometimes just getting moved into another class of service entirely, which didn't happen today, and that's okay. I don't have status with them. Honestly though, what an amazing experience. If they were able to continue this, I would love to fly them, but at the moment, their economy of scale just doesn't make sense. And if they are able to get this off the ground though, I think it's going to be an incredible product, and I look forward to flying them again in the future. And I'm already looking forward to my return flight, which I'm not going to lie, I think is going to be nicer than my business class flight the day after. That's a lot to say from an economy product, especially an economy product that's this cheap. After a go-around that wasn't announced on the aircraft, we finally landed and taxied. We took a bus to the T4 immigration, which is a bit unique. I've never done that before at JFK, and I was through in seconds thanks to Global Entry and on the curb in New York. Thanks for joining me today on today's flight.